I took my daughter-in-law to a Canada government office this morning to write her exam so that she's eligible for Canadian citizenship. While she was writing the exam, I reviewed some of the questions they were given to study, and I'm pretty sure most of you guys, including myself, can't answer even half the questions. So this little quiz, I'm going to read you some of the more salient ones, starting with the easier ones, and give you the answers, and see how you do. I'll bet you most of you can't get 50%. So here we go. Number one. When was Canada founded? 1867. Who was Canada's first Prime Minister? John A. Macdonald. Who are the Acadians? But nobody knows the answer to that one. The descendants of French colonists who began settling in what are now the Maritime Provinces in 1604. Now on to some important facts. This is the government's terminology, not mine. From where does the word Canada come? From Kanata with a K, the Huron Iroquois word for village. And here I thought that it was from the Spaniards who, when they discovered Canada, before they discovered the U.S., stepped ashore and said, "Acá nada." Here is nothing. Acá nada. Get it? Okay, what are the three main groups of Aboriginal peoples? First Nations, Métis, and Inuit. What are the three main types of industry in Canada? Natural resources, not using those terribly well, are we? Manufacturing and services. Not sure what they mean by services. Certainly not government services. What was the significance of June the 6th, 1944 invasion of Normandy? Canadians made a significant contribution to the defeat of Nazism and fascism in Europe during the Second World War. What is the highest military honor a Canadian can receive? Victoria Cross. What did the Fathers of Confederation do? They worked together to establish a new country, the Dominion of Canada. Approximately how many Canadians served in the First World War? 600,000, which back then was an awfully large portion of the population. Geography questions. What are the territories of northern Canada and their capital cities? Yukon Territory, Whitehorse, Northwest Territories, Yellowknife, and Nunavut, Iqaluit. Which province is the only officially bilingual province? And it's not Quebec, New Brunswick. What province is known as the birthplace of Confederation? Prince Edward Island. Government questions. What are the two principles upon which Canada is founded? The supremacy of God and the rule of law. Interesting fact that we can no longer say the Lord's Prayer in schools as we did once upon a day. Which three rights are included in the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms? And this is an important one because our government has been shown over the last 8 months to have abused them. Maybe even stretch it all the way back to the start of COVID and the way in which our freedoms were all kept to a minimum and in some cases completely taken away from us. So here's the answer. Mobility rights, Aboriginal people's rights, and official language rights. And just a couple more out of all these many questions that she had to study from. And in the end, they were given 20 questions that they had to answer, and she got 18 of them right. What part of the Constitution legally protects the basic rights and freedoms of all Canadians? Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Tell that to the Liberals and Trudeau. How many electoral districts are there in Canada? 308. And last but not least, what is the key phrase in Canada's original constitutional document in 1867, the British North America Act? Peace, order, and good government. And that last one could use a bit of work. So see what your score is, and good luck.